Designs is on the way.
Hello, friends, and welcome back. It is July 2nd, and I have realized that I have procrastinated on my porch goose, because I had an idea. I got with AI to create a pattern so I could turn my Mama Goose into Jennifer Coolidge's character from Legally Blonde, where she says you look like the 4th of July. So I have a baby goose, and I was going to make the baby goose look like a hot dog. So I got with AI, and it created this little tiny pattern for me. And I attempted to sew it up, but as AI would be, I have not figured it out. And I got this weird looking thing, and I didn't really want a hat on it. So I thought, you know what, let's just sublimate it on some fabric, because now we're 2 days away. We need it now. So what I done was, and this was the wig that AI came up with. So what I have done for my hot dog is I sublimated the hot dog. I pulled it off of Google search, a hot dog, and I'm just going to cut out a little face. And this is sublimation. So I will sublimate this to fabric. And the fabric I'm going to use, and this is the best thing to do, so when you have old sheets and pillowcases, just turn them into fabric. So when you go thrifting, look in the sheet section. You can wash them really well, and then you can use it as your fabric for quilting or backing or whatever. So we are going to use this. I'm going to press it. We really don't need that big of a piece of fabric. So let's make this easier on ourselves. Let's just trim off this seams. So for Jennifer Coolidge's outfit, I ran out of sublimation paper. So what I done was I used HTV Ront, had a pack on Amazon. I will link all of these products that I used down in the description box if you want to try them out. They had a pack of dark fabric transfer paper and light fabric transfer paper, and you use your light on your lighter fabrics. So I used the last 3 pieces that I had for Jennifer's outfit, and you just go by the directions. I like this stuff, and Transdream there's a product that I use that's the exact same thing, and I will link it also. You do not have to remember to mirror your print. You just print it normally and then trim it out and iron it down. Where most of the things you have to mirror it, lay it down and do it, and sometimes you forget and then your words are backwards. That's why I love these products. So let's trim off this edge so we can get a flat piece of fabric. Get it pressed straight enough so we can iron on our stuff and make these funny costumes. Right now my porch geese are sporting this red, white, and blue. The little guy has got a red, white, and blue baseball hat on that I made out of little tiny charm pack, and there's only one seam. So look at this big piece of fabric that we've got to work with. And it was just going to go in the scrap bin anyway. Will get thrown away. Okay, so we're just going to turn this up just a little bit. What I am going to also do to the back of this fabric to give it some stability is I have some medium weight and some lightweight fusible fleece. And I'm thinking I want to go with the medium just so it kind of sticks out. Has some structure to it. And when you're working with this stuff, if it's one side fusible, like you would use on the back of a shirt or inside of a tote bag or something, if you're not fusing two pieces of fabric together, you would only want one side fusible. And you have a bumpy side, which has the adhesive on it, and you have your flat side, which would be the back side of it, or the front side, however you put it. I know I have. Let's just use you. I may have to make her a little sign that says, "You look like the 4th of July. You make me want a hot dog real bad." But nobody really sees my front porch that well, except for the delivery people. And I would say that they probably would understand what my piece look like. All right. So I am going to take this over to my ironing station. Probably need to heat up my heat press again. Let's go over to the ironing station. Okay, I grabbed the instructions and it says to iron for 3 minutes without steam. What is our temperature to be set? 1. Guess your typical iron settings. Oh, okay. If you use a heat press, set the temperature at 320 to 338. Let's just do 335. And then press for 10 to 15 seconds. Let's drop that down to, let's make it let's just do 15 seconds. I have a feeling that we might need the extra time. Okay. First, I want to press out all the wrinkles, and that doesn't have to be fully. Whoops. Let's get closer over here. So. Okay, now let's grab our fuse. We're going to lay it down, match it up. You know what? It's a little big. I do not want that sticky stuff on my table. Inside your pack, it comes with some wax paper. And I'm going to use that to protect my ironing surface. That's another good thing that an old bed sheet or pillowcase would be good for, is to iron on to protect your surfaces. You do not want this sticky stuff on your iron. All right. just in time. And we'll hit the go button, the little cricket button, and he'll start counting down. We may have to hit this a couple times, but we'll see. So does any of you have any porch geese or a goose, or I've seen dinosaurs now? Do you decorate them if you have them? Tell me in the comments. All right, that did really well. Okay, I'm going to leave this underneath here. Nope. Okay. I am going to take this back to the, and just trim it off just a little bit. Okay, now that we have our fusible attached to it, see, it just give it a little bit of stability. Not much, just enough. I think it gave it a lot more than what that lightweight would have done. Now we're going to take our hot dog and we are going to line it up on here. And I am going to stick this back underneath there in case there is any sublimation ink, so it doesn't go down to my wool pad. I'll grab another one of those pieces of paper. There we go. Better be safe than sorry. And make sure that we are. And now let's go. And I just realized I was reading the instructions for the iron on and not the sublimation, but I believe they are one and the same. No, I think sublimation has to be hotter. We'll see. I'm just applying just a wee bit of pressure to this, just so it would adhere. Let's hit it down at the bottom now. It's been a while since I've sublimated. I know on tumblers, I know it's a higher heat. I got some of the DTF powder where you use your sublimation on specific, like little tiny plastic sheets. I'll do a tutorial on that, and that is my absolute favorite way of making t-shirts now. Look, we have a hot dog. There's probably enough ink left on here because sublimation doesn't always come off all the way, and I could line this back up and hit it a couple more times, but I think that is I think that's perfect. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're back at the cutting station. We are just going to cut out around this hot dog. And if you have a scan and cut, you could put this on your scanning mat or your cutting mat and run it through your scan and cut. Have it, take a picture of it, scan it in there. If you scan it on your scanning mat, make sure that you transfer back to your cutting mat before you cut. But you can scan on your cutting mat. I'll have to get out the scan and cut and do some tutorials on it. I absolutely love the scan and cut. It makes everything so much easier. But you can like scan this in, put in your cutting blade, and it will cut around this for you if your cutting skills are not very good. I may have to take this out to the little guy and see. Well, hello, Piper. Are you wanting a hot dog? Does this make you want a hot dog real bad? All right. I think his little face is a little bit bigger than that, but I know I don't want to lose too much of that. I will probably cut into my hot dog some. I will have to take that out to the little guy and see. And then I will probably, while I'm out there with the little guy, I will use elastic, and I may attach it here. We'll have to see when I get it on him. But let's move to Jennifer's outfit. So this is her wig that we're going to do. What I done was, it had given me this pattern to like sew together. But what I ended up doing when I decided that now I was going to sublimate it is I just cropped out the hair, top part of the hair, and then I cropped out the bottom part of the hair. And I ran it through my Epson app because I have Epson EcoTank printers, and I did a 2x2 and then just brought them in just a little bit, and I really think that this is perfect goose size. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to trim these out. This is printed on the light color iron-on. So this is going to be a different process than the sublimation. Trim these out. And on the iron-on, it will leave a white background. So we will have to, if we don't want a white outline around these, I don't care about inside the curls because it's inside the curls. But we will have to get as close to the hair as we can. And again, scan and cut would be perfect for this. I'm going to skip that little curl. I'm just going to go in here. I remembered I zoomed out. Let me zoom in just a little bit. Yes, I have a lot of stuff on my table right now. How's that? Okay. Got you back up on my watch so I can see without having to move away. Trim out those little flyaways. And go around this little curl. I know most people for the 4th of July probably are decorating their porch geese in political characters like George Washington or Uncle Sam, but gotta have a little bit of humor here. I'm a big movie person, so this is like right up my alley. Movie trivia, song trivia, things like that. I'm one of those people that sit there on the Roku screensaver trying to pick out all the different movies that are in that little scene that's scrolling by. Trying to find all the little Easter eggs. This is the tedious part. You could have very well just cut around the dotted line and not really care, because we are going to kind of stitch these together just a little bit. So we will lose a little bit of it. So now, remembering that, I will leave the seam allowance on the top part of that hair when I attach it to the top of here. I guess it's a good time to say, if you're enjoying this tutorial, if you would please like and subscribe, share it, get me out there. I'm trying to create this little channel to help teach people and watch me as I learn things. It's always fun to learn new things. Whoops, that little piece of curl down here. Alright, let's, you know what, we're just going to make that a curl right there, because this is our hair. And we got the front part of our hair, so now we're going to do the same for the back. And this is going to attach on the other side. So I want to make a little mark for myself. I'm going to bring this down here. Right there. So that just tells me to trim as close as I can to the hair until I get to that spot there, because I need that seam allowance for when I attach it to the top portion of the hair. I'm just going to bring that in and go back out. I've got big exciting news that'll be happening to my studio here really soon. My dream machine is coming. I cannot wait. I'm going to document the whole experience. I'm going to have its own little playlist for anyone that would like to follow along with me as I learn this, mistakes and all. I'm going to show it all, learning the machine. Let's just make this. Nope. I'm gonna go. There we go. Look how cute. So excited. I'm really big about cleaning up as I go along, or I will forget about it. Okay. Let's see. When I sew these together, I may want to just go ahead and trim that off. Thinking as I'm going, I know I'll probably want this back in, but I am afraid that if I don't get close enough, then I'm going to have a big white halo at the top of her head. Better be safe than sorry. Okay. Now we need fabric for this. I'll lay my hot dog over here. I'm actually done with this. Miss Piper, I need this fabric, please. Miss Piper. Miss Piper. No, don't attack me. Okay. Our hair will be like so. I am not going to put any kind of fusible on the back of these because this has, I know that's got paper behind it, but it still has a little bit of weight to it. So I am just going to, let's just go up. Okay. Now, Miss Papa, you can have your stuff back. Okay. That'll go there. That'll go there. I need to press the wrinkles out of this. Okay. Let's go back over. I'm just going to go over to the ironing station and I will iron these straight and then I will be right back. All right, got them pressed out the wrinkles. Okay, now we made this one for here and this one for here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the paper off the back of this. Sometimes if you can just roll your finger across of it, you can get the iron on to separate just a little bit. Run your fingernail underneath of it. And just lift it apart. Let me zoom in a little bit. All right. Sorry about that. I'm still working on camera situations. Okay. This is how it is. Then we're just going to lay it on our fabric. My goodness, I'm so excited. I'm such a dork. Okay. So we'll do the same thing for this. Just roll around the edges until it starts to peel away. And then very gently, because you don't want to stretch this and you don't want to tear it. Because if you're like me, you just used your last piece of this. And then, all right. And this will go right here. Okay, and let's go back over to the ironing station and get these ironed onto the fabric. All right, we're back to the ironing station. So now is the time that I need to set the proper temperature for the iron-on fabric. Okay, we needed 320 to 328. So let's set our temperature. Let's do the, let's see how, 335 for 10 to 15 seconds. So let's drop it down to 15. So it's still heating up. If there is any projects or any sewing projects, machine embroidery, applique, quilting, different kinds of patterns. I do some cross stitch. I'm not learning that process, but I've got a couple projects started. Paper piecing, English paper piecing, foundation paper piecing, any kind of a project really. And even if it's something I have not done, I would love to learn something new and help you guys learn along with me. So if there's any kind of a project, anything that you would like to see, please comment below and we will get that just for you. All right, so this we're going to put the paper over top of it so we can iron it onto this fabric. I'm going to add light pressure, hit the go button, and let it go for 15 seconds. Look at that. Look at that. It looks just like a little piece of fabric that you... Or can you even see this? Probably not. Probably have you zoomed in way too close. See? Look at that. I love it. Okay. So let's do the other one. I told you, I'm a dork. Okay. So we've got this one ready. We're going to start in the curl. This paper curls. So if you have a Teflon sheet that came with something that you've got, you can use that. I've got a Teflon sheet over there, but I've been using it for the DTF powder transfers, so it has now became the DTF transfer Teflon. All right. Looky. Put it over there. Now we have the back of our hair. Look at that. She's hot. Okay. Now, take our pieces back over to the cutting table because now we got to cut these out. All right, now we're back here. Now this is going to be a little bit more tedious because we are going to have to cut this out again, but this is our actual fabric. So, take your time. It's not a race. Use sharp scissors. Get it as... If you have to take out big chunks like this and then come back in and get the little chunks, do that. Whatever is easier for you. And if you cut off some of it, we just gave her a little bit of a haircut. That's fine and dandy. There's no project police. There's no right way. There's no wrong way. As long as it gets done and you like it, that's all that matters. The best part, as long as it makes you happy and you're having fun doing it, do it. Hi, Piper. Piper gets as excited, if not maybe more excited, about coming down here into the studio than I do. It's the first thing that she wants to do when she gets up. She's waiting at the door, and I'm like, we're not going down there today. We've got the day job to do today. We'll go down later. Almost cut that off. Let's trim this out. What's kind of a little bit good about this, or I guess what's really good about this, is where this is an iron-on, those ends of that fabric will not fray now. Like the ends of the fabric, since I've cut it, how the The actual threads are starting to come out. This is an iron-on, so it's keeping the fray chicks. We'll have to trim that. Okay. Need to come back up the opposite way on that one. Yeah, the traffic was slowing down out front. My dream machine is an hour away from here, sitting in a warehouse because of the, I guess because of the holiday. So it won't be delivered until Monday, the 6th. So every time the traffic like stops out there or I see a box truck, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's coming, it's coming. And my husband was like, I am going to ring the doorbell and do a beep, beep, and just see how fast you come running to the front door. So I'll probably be faster than the cat when it hears its bag of food or treats getting opened and it comes running for a treat. I've been machine embroidering for 25 years now. So this has been like the dream that I've always wanted to work towards. And I'm just so excited that that the blessing has finally happened and I get to make it a reality. Absolute blessing. It was 25 years ago, around August or September, I believe. My oldest son, who is 28, when he went into kindergarten, there's 26 kids, counting him, in the class, and, you know, the teacher had a rule that if you had a birthday party and you're passing out invitations, that everybody got an invitation, so nobody would get left out, which was awesome, you know, little hurt feelings, but, so that was a lot of birthday parties to go to. And I was like, what can I do that's different that the kids would like? So I got the bright idea to I got a used embroidery machine. It was a combo machine, a Brother Pacesetter PC 8200. Combo machine means that you could remove the embroidery arm, and then you could use it as a sewing machine. So I thought, oh, this is perfect. I'd have a sewing machine if I needed it, and then I have the embroidery machine. So my bright idea was to go to Walmart and buy those big old bath sheets. And back then they were like $5.50, and they're absolutely huge. I mean, they call them bath sheets, and especially on little 5-year-olds turning 6, you know, they would wrap them around 3 times practically. So what I would do was, you know, someone would bring home the invitation. We'd go pick out the collar that would go good with the theme and everything. And then I would embroider on their name and then whatever character or theme of their birthday party. So Spider-Man or Batman, Transformers, Hot Wheels. I think that was big back in 98, like 2003 was the time that he was in kindergarten. And Barbie for the girls, you know, or flowers, beach theme, whatever the theme was. And then that was the birthday present. So the kids could use them for the pool time or bath time, take it to the beach. The moms absolutely loved it, and the kids loved it because it had their name on it and it had their favorite character at that time. But it was a big hit. I absolutely loved doing that. But that just set off something in the creativity Pisces in me that I just absolutely enjoyed machine embroidery from that point on. But I've always worked with a flatbed, a single needle, and I'd always come across the projects that it would just be so great to have that little arm that you could just put whoa, Shannon. You could set your sleeve over and just embroider on that, because if I needed to embroider somebody's name on their sleeve or something, I would have to take the seam, unstitch the seams on the sleeve, open it up, stitch it down, and then sew the sleeve back up. So I was basically remaking the entire project. But I had a little tiny 5-year-old sweatshirt that I did at Christmas last year that I literally took out I took the seams out of the sleeves, down the side of it. I had to take the bottom hem off just so I could get in there to do what I needed to do to the front of the shirt, and on the sleeves. But you know, I'll go the extra mile for my customer and my friends and my family. But all right, now we've got these two pieces done. So what I am going to do is to put pretty side to pretty side. And I am just going to, I don't know if I want to go the epic way and just sew this all the way around through there to make an actual little wig, or if I just want just the top to be stitched down and then it just lay over her little head out there, because it'll be, let's clip this together. If you see my very first tutorial, we made this cute little rope bowl, and you'll have to go back and watch that. I can link it above to hold sets in the machine to hold our little clips. So I'm going to clip this right here. So it basically will be like this on the top of its head. Yeah, I'm going to have to sew some of the sides. And sew around and down to here to here, this side, and then this will get stitched down here, wrap around, and we'll stop about here. And this is going to be a little tricky, but we can do it. Slow and steady wins the race. All right, let's go to the machine and let's do this part. All right, let's go back to sorry. I am so sorry, guys. You're learning along with, well, this looks like it's going to be perfect viewing. We will see. I might have to move you guys over to the taller selfie stick. We'll see. Okay, do we have enough light? Can you see? I think so. We have plenty of bobbin thread in our bobbin. And we are good. So we are going to, I'm going to start at the top of her head. I'm just going to probably do about an eighth of an inch seam allowance. You know what? No, let's start at the top. I'm going to start right here because we could always go back. We will go slow. This is a Baby Lock Jazz 2, and there is no speed control on it, so it's kind of like a car. It's how fast I press the pedal, and I'm usually a pedal to the metal. On my other machine, which is when I had first got that brother combo machine. I had upgraded 2 years ago to another brother. It's an SE 1900 that's also a combo machine, and it does up to a 5x7 embroidery. But it has a speed control, so you can go slow or you can go medium or you can go fast. This is just all the pressure. So what we're going to do, I'm going to turn on my up down and leave my needle in the down position. When I stop sewing, we're going to take a little back stitch. Come on, press the pedal. Am I not plugged in? The guy that I bought this off of on eBay shipped it plugged in, so the plug has a little short in it. And I forgot that I moved it over here. All right, let's go now. Let's back up. And that's something that I realized in my first tutorial on this rope bowl was this machine is loud, and I had my iPods in, and you cannot hear me over top of the machine. So I'm going to try not to talk while this machine is going. But I'm just going to follow this around until I get it down to here, and then I'm going to back stitch. I'm just going to go ahead and try and, oops, didn't mean to hit you, I'm so sorry. All right. Stop, readjust. Not all machines have the capability of keeping the needle in the down position, but if your machine does do that, turn it on. It just makes it so much easier, because if the needle is holding it in place, because the pressure foot only puts so much pressure on it unless you have a fancy machine where you can control the pressure of your pressure foot. Okay, I am going to go match this up to there. Back stitch. Raise my needle. Pull this out. Trim my threads right there. Oh my goodness. We got us a little bit of the bird's nest, but it's going to be on the inside, so who cares? Okay. Start with my needle down just to hold that while I get in here. Now, we'll just lose that little bit of the curl that's flying by me. Okay, let's back stitch. Let's stitch and then back stitch. Whoa, Shannon, slow down. Back stitch. And we met up with our first stitch. There's our needle. This machine doesn't have a thread cutter button on it. It's got a thread cutter here. You can use your snips, scissors, whatever you want to use. Let's trim our threads. And let's go back over to the project table so we can get a better view. Better view and more light. Okay, now we're going to flip this. My goodness, oh my goodness. It looks a little goose head shaped to me, if I don't say so myself. Oh my goodness. Okay. When I get it out there, I'm not going to have to put any elastic on it to hold it. I really think that's going to set on her head perfectly. I'm not going to iron it or anything. Let's get moving to her dress. This, I had the picture of Jennifer Coolidge. Yeah, y'all know what Jennifer looks like. And her dress. So I took that dress and I had AI pull out just the pattern of her and of her dress. And I blew it up. Okay, so then I printed it on 2 pieces of that iron-on paper. I did it this way because I'm going to sew them together so I have a bigger piece of fabric. I may turn this around. Oh, look, that doesn't matter how you turn it. I think this right here would probably be better. Or we could overlap. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. Okay, we are getting a little bit too more advanced, but you know what? It's perfect. I'm going to trim around since my rotary blade is, I'm sorry for the glare from the overhead light. I don't know why my phone keeps disconnecting from y'all. Okay. This blade is nasty, so I'm going to use it on paper. Sometimes I have a close the blade check. A rotary blade, once they start getting dull, that I leave in a rotary cutter just for paper. Trim off these white. Oh, so no, get all that. I went a little wonky. If you have a paper cutter or a paper trimmer, you can definitely use that. Or you could do it this way. So we have that piece. And we'll do the same to this piece. I haven't done it in a while. I don't know why I just thought about this. I guess probably we're always talking about projects. If there's any hobbies that you enjoy doing, let me know down below. My mom had taught me how to hand embroidery. I would love to get back into that. When I was about 8 years old, she ironed on, let me pick a little pattern, and ironed it onto a pillowcase. Similar to what we have here. That had the, this down at the bottom, and I got to embroider pretty little scene. I actually remember what it was. I remember doing it like it was yesterday. I took that little project everywhere. Should have been a sign that I would enjoy this for the rest of my life. We do that after we iron these on. We need a piece of fabric. Anyway, squirrel. Oh. Anyway, if you're a knitter or you're a crocheter or any kind of a hobby and there's a pattern or whatever, comment it below and I'll look it up. I'll pay for the pattern if it's a pay pattern, and we will do it together. Just let me know. Okay, let's get this piece of fabric. This is going to be a little bit bigger. Look what this pillowcase has done for us. I have some projects that I need to get done that would be a perfect time to do them along with you guys. My pastor had mentioned when I first started going to that church that he and his wife next year would be celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. And now it is that year, so they will be celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary this year. I believe in August time. So I need to really get started. But I found this fabric panel. I had to get one for myself because it's absolutely gorgeous. But that will be a project here in the next couple of days of making that panel quilt. So I can give it to them as a gift. All right. Let's see what it says. Piece of paper here. Piece of fabric. Give ourselves a little bit of extra so we don't cut ourselves short. This is going to be a wonky cut, but you know what? It'll get trimmed off at the end. Oh, look at them scales. Okay. That pillowcase has been the bomb. Let's go back to the ironing station, and we are going to I'm going to press out I'm going to take this over. You guys don't have to come with me. I'm going to press the wrinkles out of this, and then we are going to peel the back of these off so we can put them on here and then iron them again. And again, it's disconnected. I'm back. All right. When I get better at this stuff, we can start, if you guys are interested in doing lives, sew with me's or stitch with me or whatever. We'll pick a project and we can go live and stitch along with me, or just put on the video while you're stitching. And sometimes, you know, I enjoy listening to somebody just talk about crafting because I enjoy crafting. Just roll my thumb down through this to get it to release from the backing paper. I'm just going to peel it away from the paper. So, just like when you remove vinyl, cricket vinyl, or whatever kind of vinyl from your mat, sometimes it's a lot easier just to flip it over and peel the mat away. All right. We'll take these over to the ironing station, and we are going to iron these to our piece of fabric. Hopefully one day I will just have a couple cameras and I can just push a button and I'll be over at that camera instead of setting up, bringing the camera along with me. Okay, what do we do with our paper? Make sure that the paper, your iron on sheet is not curled up. I just noticed. Okay, you know what? I am not using the paper. I am going to grab that pillowcase, bring this down to the edge. I'm going to cover this whole thing with that pillowcase. The leftover pillowcase. Make sure it's flat underneath there. This little corner down here wants to curl up. All right. And do our little countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Anybody have anything planned fun for the 4th of July weekend? As I'm recording this, it is July 2nd, which is a Thursday. I should have been working today, but we schedule our vacations a year in advance. And I had taken today off because I have Fridays off. I work 4/10s, Monday through Thursday. So I have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. So I had taken today off to, because we had originally planned to go down to DC to celebrate the America 250, but we ended up getting a great deal on a used hot tub. So all of our funds went to getting that whole area situated because we had to clear out all the dirt and level the ground and get a half-ton of gravel and then 97 50-pound bags of concrete mix, because it was $300 more to have the cement truck come and put it down, pour it for us. And so we decided just to do it ourselves and then get the hot tub moved over to that area. So now I'm calling it my spool because it is way too hot to be in a hot tub, and I'm just loving it. We got that all done Monday evening at 9:30. So, or Tuesday night. Yeah, Tuesday night at 9:30. So yesterday was the first time that we got to really just get out there and relax. I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it very much. Okay, let's go back to the project table. Okay, we are back. I am going to trim around just like we did cutting off the edges of the paper. Do the same with this fabric. Like that. Okay. I have some, I don't know if anybody, I feel like I have so many hobbies, so many interests anyway. I have bread dough up in my mixer, mixing along because I need to make some sandwich bread. If anybody else out there like to make their own bread, I love. Started making my own bread 2 years ago in January, so it's almost 3 years now. It's the best thing I ever done because you know exactly what's in it. Flour, water or milk, butter, yeast, sugar, salt, an egg if you want to put an egg in it, so you know exactly what it is. Then I came across Sue Becker. Oh my goodness. She's from Fred Becker's. She's in Georgia, Woodstock, Georgia. I'm gonna have to make a trip down there. She mills her own grain, so they sell it and everything, and the health benefits behind milling your own grain, because again, you don't have any added preservatives or bleaching or any of this stuff. You just have these straight up grain and all the bran and all the goodies that is supposed to be in it. So I got a meal and I got some berries, and I'll have to make some videos on that. It is just so much fun. And gardening, I love to garden. I planted corn for the first time, so I have 6 stalks of corn out there, and one of them actually has 3 ears of corn on it, if it makes. Somebody laughed and said, "You're not going to get very much out of 6 stalks of corn," and I'm like, I've got half a dozen if they all produce just one. So that's dinner. Okay, let's try and match these up, because I really don't. Let's see. Let's pin these together like it is soon. Just to give us an idea of what it would look like. Let's audition it, shall we? Okay, so if we pretend like that's a sewn seam, then this will open up like this. We could match that, but you know what? That almost looks right. Okay, I think this would be pretty much the size of the goose. I'm not going to sew up the back. I might add like, okay, hers was V-necked. I think I'm just going to have just V-neck it and have the elastic go around her neck as the top portion of the dress. Because I could quite possibly trim off a little bit from the sides here. I'm gonna do it, Shannon. Let's do it. Let's make it awesome. Is that about a quarter, half an inch? Shannon, let's just use the markings on your cutting mat. Oh, that would be amazing. Okay. Yeah, I want to cut a ½ inch off of this. Now we have a strap to go around the neck. Okay. Okay, let's take this to the machine and let's stitch straight down. Let's sew this together. Okay, we're back at the machine. And we are going to stitch this with a typical 1/4 inch seam allowance, or at least it's a quilting seam allowance anyway. And we're gonna backstitch at the beginning and the end just to reinforce it for us. She's getting a little shifty on me. All right, and we got that sewn. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, let's go back to them. All right, we are going to open this up. We're going to flatten out this seam. Finger press it. going to take this over to the ironing board and I'm going to flatten that out. And just like that, we have a solid piece of fabric with a flat seam. And I noticed when the iron touched this, it kind of pulled away. So do not touch the iron directly to this. It will lift. Okay. So use a pressing cloth for sure. All right. This is going to be our dress. So it basically be like this around the goose. So we need some, need to V it here to make it low cut. We could round it so we have more fabric. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, I want to turn this over so we can see from this angle. It's a good marker. I'm just going to hold it flat against the thing here so I have a little bit of. Okay. Cut this out. I'm going to try and cut it straight and then do the curve. Just cutting a little bit on the outside of the line. Weird. Hello, guys. Did you have a nice fall? Sorry. Okay. Don't think I'll edit that out. Oh. Okay. And this. I really need to take it to the goose and see if I can. This will be all the way around. And how long this strap needs to be. I think I hear my husband upstairs. I might have him carry the camera so we can try this on with our hot dog. And let's get a little bit of an idea. If not, I will just hold the selfie stick. So you know what? It's field trip time. Okay. It's disappeared. So let's just go outside. I got this thrifting. It's a table runner, so I just folded it in half and put it on the front door. I love it so much. Okay, I had this, got this on Amazon. It's an Ackfield quilt, mini quilt hanger, and it has a star on it. I thought it was just perfect. All right, here is our little goose and our mama goose. I might have to raise this up some. All right, here we go. Aren't they adorable? Cutting Lena Mae's head off. Okay. Why aren't... Okay. Let's take it. Look at this little hat. I'll have to do another one of these and film it. It was just so stinking cute. Let's take this little hat off. These are OG geese that my mom had back in the 80s. And my mom passed away in 2013 and my dad passed away in 2024, so hit it in 2 weeks. In 15 days, it will be 2 years since my dad has passed. So when I saw these starting to get popular again, I was like, oh my goodness, we have the OGs. I'm having to get them and put them to use. So let's see if his little hot dog costume, we are definitely going to, it's not going to fit. So we will have to go back to the drawing board. You know what? We're just going to cut this off, and we are going to cut his little head out. So he's just going to be more of a hot dog, which was going to be fine. We'll just cut this off, and we will cut a hole in here. About as long as my finger. And just pop his little head in there. Okay, we'll be fine. And you know what? We'll just, at that time, we'll make, I don't think we will need a, and you know what? It's hilarious, but that is really little, but I am fine with it. Could just make it. It's more, okay, going back to the drawing board, if we ever do this again, the half sheet of paper is a perfect size for our little goose. We would put it in there. And Mama Goose is much bigger. But with the time constraints, you know what? We are just going to deal with it. It's fine. I'm fine with it. Let's take it off. That's bird paper. Okay. So I think if we go right here, bring that up, that will be perfect. And you know what? We will just probably cut this around, and then that'll bring this around just to round off edges, and then I think that will be perfect. Okay, now we have an idea. America 250, guys. All right, we're back. Well, we learned something, didn't we? On sizes. I almost want to just keep this for him next year, but you know what? No. Okay. He's a boy. He's not a girl. Okay. Let's trim off the top of this. Almost. Yeah. Okay. Make this now the bottom. This stick over his head. Bring his head here. Where's my ruler? I have no idea what just happened downstairs. Okay. My finger's about almost 3 inches. Okay. That's 2 inches. In the center, above his head. Let's cut. Oh, decisions. Okay, I'm gonna cut right here. This is an iron, a friction marker. You can get a pack of them on Amazon of like 10 or 20 different colors. I can't remember. Maybe there's eight or 10 different colors, and they erase with heat. So if like you add friction to it, that will come off, or you can just lay a iron on top of it and it will disappear. But we're going to be cutting that, so now I'm going to fold this in half. I'm going to snip that line, just like so. I'm going to go down to where I cut and up to where it started. Now we need to circle that out. Okay, what are we gonna do? I got this on Amazon. Like, we all need more clips, you know? And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to leave them in here, and I'm record this. I'm gonna make a project out of it, but turn this into a pin cushion. Stick pins into it. Turn the lid into a pin cushion. The back pipe. I'm going to use this to make a circle in here. Let me hit you guys again. Piper, that's hair. That's our goose hair. Okay, let's trim this, that line that we just made. It's not a circle, but I don't think it needs to be a circle, because I don't want to lose too much of the hot dog effect, you know? I think that's going to be fine. I think it's going to be fine. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Okay. I just want take off the hard edges. Nope, I didn't take off no hard edge right there. Okay. That way it's more apron-y, dressy, whatever's. Okay. Now, let's take this to the machine, and we are going to attach this strap. Let's use a new clip. There. Make sure we don't twist it. There. Let's go to the machine and attach that. Okay, we are back. I am just going to put this under the machine. I am going to leave make this at an angle just because. Back stitch. And so come on, eyes. Just to give it a little more reinforcement. Sometimes I overdo it. Trim off this bulk. And if we wanted to, we really could just top stitch all the way down there, but you know, it's not going to fray. It's just for a goose outside, just to be cute. I think that's fine and dandy. Don't overthink it, Shannon. Okay, I think we have our little dress and our hair. It's too small, but anyway, it will do for the purpose of laughs in our little hot dog. Instead of going on another field trip, I will just insert a picture of Lena Mae and Maurice at the end of the video so you can see how they look in their little 4th of July outfits. And I appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with me today and doing this project. And I hope you learned something. If not, I hope you got a little giggle.
Stitch it, paint it, bake it too. Maple nut dreams are coming true. Come on back, we'll save a smile. Let's make life beautiful, maple nut style. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed today's project. Until next time, keep creating, keep believing, and remember, life is always a little more beautiful when it's handmade by friends.